Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Broadway Avenue Pickleball Tennis Courts, right? Woo! Yes. Pickleball players and tennis players do get along, right? Absolutely. Especially here at Broadway Avenue.
Play both.
Yes.
And platform tennis.
And platform tennis too, huh? And then there's always racquetball, except there are no more racquetball courts around. I am so delighted to be here this morning. My name is Angie Carpenter, and I am so honored to be the town supervisor. And joining me this morning from the town board, we have Councilman Lorenzo, whose district we are in. And we've got so many tennis players and pickleball players, and I want to especially acknowledge Brian Bennett and Robert Wu, who were pretty aggressive about reaching out, and a good part of the reason for why we're here this morning. And we're really celebrating the fact that we have 6 brand new dedicated pickleball courts here. So that brings us townwide to 11 dedicated pickleball courts and 9 dual courts throughout our town of Islip. And I think when the courts at Casamento are finished, the commissioner tells me we will have more pickleball courts than any other town on the island. I think the island. So I just wanted to fill you in a little bit. We have an open play program at Casamento. We have lessons at Holbrook through August. And one of our pickleball instructors, by the way, is Joe Gaeta, who's working and couldn't be here today. He is 96 years old, and he's out there on the pickleball courts and really encouraging seniors to play. So, I think that's a beautiful thing. 96, you got it. Does anybody know Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, he's great. He's really great. Also, so the lessons at Holbrook will be going on through August, and in the fall we'll be starting lessons in Ronkonkoma, and then next summer, this spring-summer season, we will be having lessons here at Broadway Avenue. So, again, there's so much happening here. I'd like to think we're coming to be the pickleball capital of the island. And I know there are some ideas percolating out there, and I just want you to know we have an open door. We want to listen, and I am not a pickleball player, played ping pong, tennis, badminton, racquetball, but yes, I was out there for less than 10 minutes I played, and I'm hooked. I think it's great. I really, really do. But in any event, I would like to ask the commissioner to come up and say a few words. Tom.
Thank you, Supervisor. First and foremost, I want to thank the supervisor, the town board member. You know, these courts and all of the infrastructure in the town of Islip doesn't get built without their support. And that takes tax dollars, and sometimes those are difficult decisions. And I just want to thank them for their vision, because this is what it's all about, especially after COVID, to get people back out in their community. And again, it's an honor for me to be the Parks Commissioner as we rebuild the town of Islip. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. And I know that there is so much enthusiasm for the sport, and it's growing every day. And we were chatting earlier, Brian and I, and I'm going to ask Brian to come up and say a few words. But the idea of perhaps holding a tournament here certainly sparked my interest, and I think we're going to work towards seeing that happen. Brian?
Thank you, Angie. I became hooked on Broadway Pickleball 3 years ago when we had painted lines on the tennis courts, and nobody was coming to play pickleball here on our vacant courts. So we need to get word out to get people to come down to the tennis courts. So I opened up a Broadway Facebook page, Broadway Pickleball Facebook page, and then all of a sudden people started coming and joining us, and we started to spread and grow. And then we took out chalk and we were painting lines on the other tennis court. So the community started to come and grow, and the expansion started to lead to reach out to the town, because we need to develop more pickleball and get the community involved further. And then you see a lot of tennis balls saying, oh, wow, that game looks really neat. And a lot of people playing, so they joined in too. So we have a good camaraderie between the tennis players that were established here, mixing in with us. And so now we have our fence that splits them. We have another fence over here. So as a community, we were all growing together, which was really good. And it all comes back to the supervisor who started from the top and saw that. And she opened up all the venues, and now we've got a great court which has lights also. So we're bringing in the whole community, and it's been terrific. So thank you, Commissioner, Supervisor, and Commissioner for your
Thank
work.
you.
And Councilman.
Yes, thank you so much for your advocacy, you and Robert. We really appreciate it. I'd like to ask John Lorenzo to say a few words. He is a pickleball player. So, John, please.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Good morning, all. I never thought in my 48 years on this earth I'd say I'm a pickleball player, but I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love it and adore it. So I want to thank the supervisor, the town board, Tom Owens and his crew, Dierdre, and all the players that had made this possible. Brought it up, drew the lines on there for us, showed us what we needed to do, gave us some information, and we put it together. Looking at the community and watching them come down, having fitness in my background my whole entire life, I love the fact that people of all ages and abilities can come out and play this sport. I'm not very good at it, but I sweat and love it every time I play. So I appreciate all your time. If you guys need anything, let us know. Respect the courts, respect the time frames, please, everyone, and have a great time doing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. And the fact that it brings people of all levels, all ages are seemingly playing pickleball. But what I particularly love to see, and I was mentioning it earlier to this lady right here, the camaraderie that is coming from it, the relationships, the socialization. I was over at our courts in Islip a couple of weeks ago, and this woman went walking by, and she said to this guy, "Oh, don't forget we're doing lunch today." And he turned around and said, "Oh yeah, I've made so many friendships here, and we get together outside the court." And that's really what it's all about. Not being a couch potato, whether you're 20 or beyond. You need to get out, keep moving. If you rest, you rust. So let's get out there. We're going to have a ribbon cutting. Everyone have a great time playing pickleball, and do stay out of the kitchen.
Can I say one more thing? One more thing.
Oh, sure.
I represent USA Pickleball,
Please.
the national organization for pickleball, and we appreciate Town of Islip, Angie, and her team for what they've done. We have something special for her.
Oh, jeez.
Your own pickles.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Well, my chief of staff, who absolutely loves pickles, is going to adore this when I bring this back to the office. Thank you so much. That's very, very sweet. And isn't there... Are you pickled when you lose? Is that it?
Zero. If you get zero, you're pickled.
Okay, if you get zero, you're pickled. Well, I hope never to be pickled except with these. Thank you.